Good evening, everyone. Welcome to iQuanta. This is going to be another session of CAT before CAT, where we discuss problems exactly the level of CAT exam, and we are going to learn lots of tricks. And the topic for today is simple interest and compound interest, which is a very interesting topic. There are very few formulae in this topic. Let's say simple interest, PRT upon 100, compound interest amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. Usually we have these two major formulae, but there are lots of things that we can do while solving the questions, and there are lots of tricks, like you can involve multiplication factor, you can involve successive percentage concept and solve these compound interest and simple interest problem with ease. So that we are going to learn today. So it's going to be a very interesting session, so stick to the last. All right, we already have few students here, regular students. Shanvi is here, Gaurav, Sejal, Achal, Nikita, Vandit, Richa. Hello guys, good evening. So this is the second week of CAT before CAT series. Yesterday you had a session with Raj sir, right? I guess that was profit and loss, and before that we had percentages and average, and today we are going to have question from SICI, simple interest and compound interest. Then we are going to have session on time and work. So this whole week is for arithmetic, just like last week was based completely on number system. You must have had a good revision, and in this week you are going to have a good revision of arithmetic as well. As all of you must be aware, arithmetic is the highest weightage topic in CAT. Out of 22 questions, you get 8 to 10 questions from arithmetic. So don't miss these sessions, okay? All right. So let's move on to our first question, which is this one. Ankit is asking, sir, what do you think, which topic in quants dominates more in 2025? So if we go by the pattern, it should be arithmetic, but I think algebra won't be far behind. Okay, you can also expect 7 to 8 questions from algebra. Compound interest का formula, amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. N is the number of years, R is the rate of interest being compounded every year, and you can say this P into 1 plus R upon M to the upon 100, N into M. If interest is being compounded M times a year, okay, if interest is being compounded M times a year, then P into 1 plus R1 by 100, 1 plus R2 by 100, and so on. If interest for first year is R1%, interest for second year is R2%, and so on. So these are the three different kinds of questions that you will find once when rate of interest is being compounded R% per annum. This is the formula. If interest is being compounded M times a year, but rate of interest is R% per annum, then this is second formula that you can use. And then comes the third one. If rate of interest for every year is different, R1, R2, R3 in any order, then this is how you find the amount. Anshuman, in case of number system, there has been 2 to 3 questions. Okay, it could be 4 questions, but I don't think it will be more than that. But CAT is very unpredictable. There was a time when quantitative aptitude meant number system. There were lots of questions from number system alone, more than 50% of the questions, but that is not the case now, but it could be the case. So you should not leave that. M times is the time in a year. Yes, Shanvi. M times a year. Okay, if it's quarterly, means 4 times a year. Half yearly, 2 times a year, like that. So what's the answer for this question? A man decides to invest a certain amount of money in a savings account of a bank that pays 20% compound interest per annum for a period of 2 years. In return, the man wanted payments of 200 at the end of first year and 400 at the end of the second year from the bank. So he invested some amount and he wants it returned in 2 months. In first month he is supposed to get 200, in the second month he is supposed to get 400, and he got all the amount that he had invested. What is the sum of money that should be invested by the man to achieve this? So how can we solve this? Let amount invested is equal to A, right? So what will be the total amount? Total amount after 1 year. It will be 1.2A, right? Because the rate of interest is 20%. Rate of interest is 20%. Amount left after payment. What will be the amount which is left? Amount left after payment will be equal to 1.2A minus 200. This is the amount left after the payment of 200. Now what we can say according to question, now 20% interest will be applied on this. So 1.2 times 1.2A minus 200 should be equal to 400, right? So from there we are getting 1.44A minus 240 is equal to 400, or 1.44A is equal to, this will be equal to 640. From there we can say A will be equal to 640 upon 1.44. So if you remove the decimal, we are going to get 2 zeros. Now 144 is 16 into 9. So 16 into 9, 16 into 4000. So we can say the amount is equal to 4000 upon 9. So this is one of the method that we can solve, but there is another method that we can use, which is installment method, right? We can say, we can consider this by, in other case, that the present value of the amount paid will be equal to the amount invested, right? So we can say amount invested will be equal to, the amount invested will be equal to 200 is paid after 1 year. So what will be the present value of this 200? So 200 upon 1.2 plus what 400 is paid after 2 years. So 2 years interest on that. So 400 upon 1.2 square. So this will be equal to 240 plus 400 upon 1.2 square, which again if you solve this, as you can see, you are getting the same expression. So you will get 4000 upon 9. So you can solve this with both the ways. I love this way because if values are according to this, you can solve this very clearly. Okay. See, the interest is 20%. The bank is giving 20% interest to you. So if you are adding 20% to this amount, this will be equal to A plus 0.2A, which will be equal to 1.2A, right? After 1 year, if the amount invested was A, after 1 year it will become 1.2A. 1000 का 1200 हो जाएगा. 100 का 120 हो जाएगा, है ना, 1.2 टाइम्स, बिकॉज रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज 20%. So now the bank has paid 200 rupees to that person. So 1.2a, subtract 200 to that. If you subtract 200 to that, this is the amount left in the bank. ये पैसा बचा हुआ है बैंक में अभी भी इस पर्सन का, राइट. जितना पैसा उसने जमा किया था ये पैसा बचा हुआ है. अब इस पे 20% इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा. सो 20% इंटरेस्ट मीन्स 1.2 टाइम्स ऑफ द टोटल अमाउंट. सो 1.2 टाइम्स ऑफ दिस. Now he is getting 400 payment and this is settled. All of these are settled. The account is settled. So this should be equal to 400. ठीक है. Solving this, we are getting A is equal to 400 by 9. Okay. Options लेके भी solve कर सकते हैं, but you will have to solve it 4 times, and you can do that in 1 time, right? Okay. Is that clear now? Nilesh, Sanvi, Prabhat. Okay. Rakesh, alternate approach, finding the present value of the amount. See, 200 is being paid after 20% interest, right? So what will be the present value of this 200? Like I am getting 1200 after 1 year. So 20% interest is added, then I am getting 1200. What will be the present value of 1200? So 1200 by 1.2. So that's why 400 I am getting after 2 years of interest. Matlab 1.2 times, then 1.2 times. So 1.2 square. So that's the answer. All right. Is that clear to everyone now? Batao. Just a nobody. How many questions would you solve using the options? Tell me. You are doing the same calculation 4 times here, and you will have to do that 1 time here or here. So why would you prefer options? There are certain questions which can be solved through options easily. This is not one of those questions. But if you want to stick to that, that is up to you, right? Do what you like. Now let's try this one. I am getting very few answers. Everyone, you must try these type of questions, okay? Because if you feel there is a calculation, right, then you should try these questions. No, these are not actual CAT questions here. These are CAT level questions, right? There is another session where we discuss previous year questions, but these are not one of those. So what's the answer we are getting? We are getting 20,808. Sia, that is correct. Sarthak, 20,808, that is correct. Thunder, check your answer. So it says Anil invests 22,000 rupees for 6 years in a certain scheme with 4% interest per annum, compounded half yearly. Sunil invests in the same scheme for 5 years and then reinvests the entire amount received at the end of 5 years, 1 year at 10% simple interest. So Sunil is investing the same amount as Anil, which is not the same amount in the same scheme, some amount in the same scheme, but not for 6 years, for 5 years. And then he is investing the whole amount that he got after 5 years in a simple interest, which is giving him 10% return, right? 10% simple interest. So if you increase the amount by 10%, you get 1.1 times. If the amounts received by both at the end of 6 years are same, then the initial investment made by Sunil in rupees. So in case of Anil, what we can say the total amount will be 22,000 into 1 plus rate of interest is 4% per annum, but it's being compounded half yearly. So it will be 4 by 2 upon 100 into 6 years into 2, because half yearly, 2 times a year. And this should be equal to, let's say the amount invested by Sunil is X, then X into 1 plus 4 by 2 upon 100, it's for 5 years. So after 5 years, this will be the return for Sunil, right? This will be the return. But in 1 year, it will increase by 10%. And if you increase a value by 10%, the multiplication factor is 1.1, right? So from there, we can say that it will be 22,000 into 1 plus 2 upon 100 to the power 12 is equal to X into 1 plus 2 upon 100 to the power 10 into 1.1. Now, if we cancel out the power, what we can say that X is equal to 22,000 into what's left, 1 plus 2 by 100 to the power 2 will be left and divided by 1.1. So remove the decimal here, this will become 0. 11 into 2 is 22. So from there we can say X will be equal to 20000 into 102 upon 100 into 102 upon 100. So 0000000 is cancelled out. So X will be equal to 2 into, what is 102 square? 10404, right? So 10404, or we can say X is equal to 20808. This is the value that we get, and that's the correct answer. 102 square you can calculate very easily. 102 square is nothing but 100 plus 2 whole square. 2 square is 04, 2 plus 2 is 4, so 10404. That you can use here. So to solve this question, I don't think it should take more than 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. That's it, because there is not much calculation. It's very straightforward, right? So Subh got this correct. Anchal, Vandit, Nivedita, Asis, all of these got this correct. Very good. If any one of you have any doubts, then let me know. Manikanta, see, this is the amount that Anil will get after 6 years. This is the amount that Anil will get after 6 years. This is the amount that Sunil will get after 5 years. After this, he is putting it at 10% interest, simple interest for 1 year, right, in scheme B, in another plan. So if you increase a value by 10%, what will happen? X plus 10% of X is equal to X plus 0.1x is equal to 1.1x. So, if you increase a value by 10%, it becomes 1.1 times of itself. So, after 1 year, it means after overall after 6 years, this amount is after 5 years. So, multiplied by 1.1, you get the total amount that Sunil will receive after 6 years. So, from there, this is power 12, this is power 10, right? A to the power c divided by a to the power b is equal to a to the power c minus b. So, this is something to the power 12 and this is something to the power 10. So, what will be left? 2 will be left. 12 minus 10 is equal to 2. So, we get the square here, right? And then we just need to solve it, all right? Chalo. Let's move to the next one. This is a very interesting question. Ravi would earn 400 more after 2 years if he invested a certain amount at compound interest instead of simple interest at the same rate of interest. So, after 2 years, the difference between compound interest and simple interest is say 400 rupees. It is given that the compound interest he would have earned in the second year is 2400. What is the total interest amount he would earn over 3 years if he invested the amount at compound interest? So, what we can say that what will be the compound interest, what will be the simple interest after. So, for the first year, can I say that for the first year the compound interest and the simple interest will be same. So, for the first year if it is x, simple interest will also be x, and for the second year if the compound interest is given which is 2400. Now, can I say sum of these two, the difference is 400, means for the second year the simple interest must be 2000, right? It will be 2000. For the first year The simple interest will remain same because the simple interest is always same for every year, and the compound interest will also be same. Now, what is the second year? Second year 2400 is nothing but 2000 plus 400. This 400 is interest on interest. This 400 is interest on interest, right? So, what will be our rate of interest? Rate of interest will be 400 upon 2000 into 100. So, that is nothing but 20%. Okay, you can calculate it directly without doing this calculation. So, rate of interest is 20%. So, every year the compound interest will increase by 20%. So, total compound interest after 3 years. So, for the first year 2000, for the second year it will be 20% more, which will be 2400, and for the third year it will be 20% more, which will be 2880. 20% of 2400 will be 480. So, add 480 to this. So, this will be equal to 8072. So, that is your answer. Without doing any tedious calculation, you can solve this very easily. You can follow this formula, that compound interest for nth year divided by compound interest for n minus 1th year is equal to 1 plus r by 100. Means, if you take the ratio of 2 consecutive year compound interest, you can find the rate of interest. So, 7280 is the correct answer, right? Lots of you were able to solve it, but not many, still not many of you. So, try to understand this concept, okay, and follow this. Nivedita, Sia, Harsh, Avi Krishna, Ashish, Nikita, then Thunder, Sarthak, Suf, Achal, all of these got this correct. Sia, we don't need to find the principal or the amount after 3 years. You can simply understand this, and using that you can solve it very easily. Okay, you don't need to find anything else. You don't need to find the principal, you don't need to find the total amount. Okay, so next year compound interest will be previous year interest plus interest on that. Let us try the next question. All right. It says Anil borrows 2 lakh rupees at an interest rate of 8% per annum, but it's being compounded half yearly. Mean rate of interest is 4% per half year, right? 8% per annum, 4% per half year. He repays 10,320 at the end of first year and closes the loan by paying the outstanding amount at the end of third year. Then the total interest in rupees paid over the 3 years is nearest to. So what will happen? We need to find what will be the amount, what will be the total amount after 1 year. So total amount after 1 year. This will be equal to 2 lakhs into 1 plus 4 by 100 square, right? 2 lakhs into 1 plus 4 by 100 square, which will be equal to 2 lakhs into, now this will become 104. What is 104 square? So it will be 10816 divided by 10000. So this is cancelled out. What are we getting? We are getting, multiply this. So 2 times 3 to 0, 108, so 216. This is the amount after 1 year. The total loan amount is 2,16,320. What is the amount left? So amount left after 1 year is equal to, so 2,16,320 minus 10,320, which is equal to 2,06,320. Not 320, 2,06,000, right? This is the amount that is left after 1 year. So what will be the total amount after 3 years or 2 more years, right? Or 2 more years. So this will be equal to 206,000 into 1 plus 4 by 100. 2 years means 4 half years to the power 4. That will be equal to 206,000 into, now this is the calculation part, right? It will be equal to 10816. So we will have to take 1.04 to the power 4. Now for that you will have to use the calculator. You can choose to use the calculator. What will be that value? 10816. So this will be something like, what we can say, something like 16%, more than 16%, because 4%, even if it was simple interest, 4 into 4, it will be 16%. It's little more than 16%, right? So this value must be 16% more than this. 16% more than this means 30,000 more than this. So this value will be very much close to 2,40,000. Okay, you can use the calculator for precise calculation, but for now I can say this value will be very close to 2,40,000 without calculating this. How did I do that? Because 4%, 4%, 4%, 4%. Even if it was simple interest, total would be 16%. And it's successive percentage, right? It's compound interest, successive percentage. Interest will be added on interest. So that value must be more than 16%. So I am taking 17% approximate, and that will be 2,40,000. So what is the total amount that he paid? 2,40,000 plus 10,320. So this will be 2,50,320, of which if you subtract the total loan, you are getting 50,320. And if you check, the closest answer is option B, and you don't even need to touch the calculator here, right? You don't even need to touch the calculator here. But yes, there is on screen calculator that you can use, you can get the exact answer, but we don't need that. You can also solve it in this way. Rate of interest is 8% per annum. So even if we don't consider that it's being compounded half yearly, or something is being paid at the end of 1 year. At the end of 1 year, what is being paid? 10,000. Loan is 2 lakhs. So 10,000 is negligible with respect to 2 lakhs, right? So 8%, 8%, 8%, 24% will be total with respect to simple interest. If it was simple interest, it would be 24%. 24% of 2 lakhs is 48,000. So the exact value must be more than 48,000. There is only one option, which is option B. But once again, you can always choose to do the precise calculation if you have time in hand. Otherwise, you can do a calculative guess, mark the answer and move forward. Okay. I am taking the approximate value. I am not calculating. After this, I am not calculating anywhere close to exact answer. That's why our answer has so much difference, almost 1,000 difference. But 1,000 is nothing with respect to 2 lakhs. It's 0.5%, right? 1,000 is 0.5% of 2 lakhs. So that's why the error. No, correct answer is option B. Correct answer is option B. If you want, I can calculate the exact value for you here. 206,000 into 1.04, once, twice, thrice, 4 times. So this value will be equal to 2,40,990. 2,40,990. Now you add 10,320. So you will get 10, 9 plus 3, 2 plus 1, 3, and this will become 10,000. So 40 plus 10, 51 and 2. You can see that this is the exact. If you use the calculator, that's the exact value, right? Hers total loan amount is 2 lakhs. At the end, total loan amount is 2 lakh rupees, right? What he is paying? He is paying this amount after 3 years, this amount after 1 year. So total amount he is paying is 2,51,310. So what's the extra? Subtract the loan amount. If you subtract 2 lakhs, you are getting 51,310. Okay. For the second case, no, because we have already taken 1 year after. This amount is after 1 year. So total 3 years. Total 3 years. So we will have to take 2 years. And rate of interest is 8% per annum. Half yearly, it will be 4%. And in 2 years, there will be 4 half year. Getting my point? 8% per annum, 4% per half year. And in 2 years, there will be 4 half year. Just use this formula. Where did we do this one? This is the same concept. Okay. So B is the correct answer. Chalo, let's go to the next one. If the last question was based on theta problems and we had to answer to the closest integer, then yes, then you should use the calculator and get the precise value. Otherwise, you can do a little approximation, solve the question, don't waste too much time there and move forward. Because questions, options are given in a comfortable gap. SIP problem. Yes, very similar to that. So 17,318 is not correct. Try again. Now, in this question it is given that Sandeep invests a sum at the start and adds the same sum at the end of each year in the bank account with an annual rate of 10% compounded annually. If the total interest after 4 years is 88,408 rupees, find the sum that Sandeep invested at the start of each year. Can I say if he invested X rupees, then after 4 years, this amount will become X into 1.1 to the power 4, that is equal to 1.4641 X, right. Then second year he is investing X again, and after 3 years this amount will become X into 1 plus 1 whole cube, which is equal to 1.3310 X. Then again in the beginning of third year he is investing X again, then after 2 years this amount will be X into 1.1 whole square, which is equal to 1.21 X, right, 1.2100 X, just to make the summation easy. Then in the last year, at the beginning of the last year, he has invested X rupees again, which will be equal to 1.1 X. What will be the total amount? What will be the total amount? So total amount will be equal to, if you add this 1, then 0, 0, 0, 1 plus 4, 5, then 0, 1 plus 3, 4 plus 6, 9, then 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 6 plus 4. Wait a second, this will be 0, 1, 3, 6, right. So, this will be 10, carried forward 1, then 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 3 7, plus 4 11, point, this will become 4 5, right, 5.1051, right, is that correct? 5.105. And what is the total investment? Total investment is equal to 4x. So, what is the interest? Interest is 1.1051x is equal to 88408, right, 88408. Now, if you check, this value is divisible. If you multiply this value by 8 times, you are getting the same value, 88408. So, from there we can say that x will be equal to 80,000. That is it. That is the method that we should use to solve this question, right. 8,000 is the correct answer, guys. Okay, Sarthak got this correct, Siddhant got this correct, Nivedita, Harsh, Shubh, Ashish and Achal got this correct, right. Rest of you who got this incorrect or we are not able to solve it can solve it this way. Okay, so try to understand the method here. If you have any doubts at any step, then let me know. ठीक है. Okay everyone, is this clear? बताओ. Yes, we added principal amount each year, Nivedita. This is for the first year. The amount that we invested first year will become this much. The amount that we invested second year will become this much. The amount that we invested third year will become this much. And the amount that we invested fourth year, at the start of fourth year, will become this much. That is why total investment is 4x. But the per year investment is x. है ना? Achal, alternate approach, if you know that the effective rate of interest. So, for 10%, for 1 year, effective rate of interest is 10%. For 2 years, effective rate of interest is 21%. For 3 years, with the same rate of interest, effective rate of interest is 33.1%, and for 4th year, it will be 46.41%. So, the total interest earned would be equal to 110.51%. 110.51% of x is equal to 88408, and from there you can solve it and get x is equal to 80,000 very easily. This is the method that I use to solve these type of problems, because I know the successive that for 1 year it is 10%, for 2 years the overall effective rate of interest will be 21%, for 3 years it will be 33.1%, for the 4th year it will be 46.41% in total. So, this is the interest on same amount x. So, I can add all these interest, that will be the total interest. From there we can find the value of x. All right, now try this one. How did you calculate these percentages? Shreyans, for 2 years you can take the successive of 10 and 10, right? 10 and 10 successive is 10 plus 10 plus 10 into 10 upon 100, which is equal to 21%. For the 3 years, 3 times 10, take the successive of these two, it will be 10 plus 21 plus 10 into 21 upon 100, which will be equal to 33.1%. And for 4 years, the effective rate of interest will be the successive of 21 and 21, which is 21 plus 21 plus 21 into 21 upon 100, which is equal to 46.41%. ठीक है? Okay, Shreyans, is that clear now? We use successive percentage, or you can also use this, that 1.1 square is equal to 1.21. So this is your interest part. 1.1 cube is 1.331. This is your interest part. Then 1.1 to the power 4 is 1.4641. So from here, from experience, once you have start using these things, you cannot go back. You cannot go to calculators again and again. Now these type of questions are very interesting, because if you try to solve these questions step by step, it will take too much of your time. So try to solve these type of questions in one step. Like I am trying to solve every question in one step. As you can see, this was one step problem, this was one step problem, this was one step problem. So every question try to solve in one step. Try to make one equation and then solve it. You will be able to solve it very easily. Of course, it will take some time before you learn that approach, but once you learn it, your method will be efficient and time saver. Now in simple interest, amount is equal to P into 1 plus R into T upon 100, right? Total amount is equal to P into 1 plus R into T upon 100, and this is what we are going to use here. It says an amount of rupees 10,000 is deposited in bank A for a certain number of years at a simple interest of 5% per annum. Certain number of years means, let's say, n years, right? On maturity, the total amount received is deposited in bank B for another 5 years at a simple interest of 6% per annum. If the interest received from bank A and bank B are in the ratio 10:13, then the investment period in years in bank A is. So what we can say, the interest earned by A upon interest earned by B is equal to 10/13. What will be the interest earned by A? So we can say 10,000 into n years into 5 upon 100. This will be the interest earned in 5 years, right? In n years, in case of amount A, and this divided by what will be the total amount after n years. What will be the total amount? We can use this. So total amount would be equal to 10,000 into 1 plus 5n upon 100. This will be the total amount. This is the interest, right? This is the interest and this will be the total amount after n years. This into, now the rate of interest is 6%. So 6, and for 5 years, 5 divided by 100. And this should be equal to 10 upon 13. Now what we can do is we can divide this 100 by 100, 10,000, 10,000, 5, 5. What are we left with? So we are left with 13n is equal to, this will be 60, right? 60 plus 3n, or 10n is equal to 60 और n will be equal to 6. देखो कितने आराम से सॉल्व हो गया अगर ये पता हो कि कहाँ पे कैसे कौन सा लॉजिक यूज करना है ना? कुछ भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऐसा ही क्वेश्चंस आर डेफिनेटली मच इजियर विथ कंपेयर टू कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट. करेक्ट. सो ऑल राइट, बताओ कोई डाउट है इसमें? Is this approach any better than what you used to solve it? Like any time saver? What do you think? Subh, Aditi, Subhadra, Nivedita, Sarthak, Thander, Nikita, Achal, Hers, Praveen, Suhani and Smarnika, all of these got absolutely correct. But once again, what I will tell you that in case of compound interest and simple interest, the approach, the method that you use to solve the question is really important. Let's try this question now. चलो देखते हैं इस क्वेश्चन को. The difference between simple interest for 4 years at 31.25% per annum on a certain sum and compound interest for 4 years at 25% per annum on the same sum compounded annually is 6713. Find the sum. What we can say? By simple interest. By simple interest, the amount A will be equal to principal P into 1 plus 31.25 upon 100 to the power into 4. Sorry, it will be this into 4 upon 100. This will be equal to P into, now what is 31.25? 31.25 is nothing but 5 by 16, right? 5 by 16. So into 4, 20 by 16 into 100. So what this will become is 5 by 4. 5 by 4 times P. You can also understand it that in 4 years total interest will be 125%, right? 31. So 125%. So this will become 9 by 4. Right? Is this clear to everyone? 125%. This 31.25 is equal to 5 upon 16. So 5 by 4. 5 by 4 हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. 1 plus 5 by 4 is 9 by 4. And by compound interest, amount will be equal to P into 1 plus 25 by 100 to the power 4, which will be equal to P into, now 25 by 100, 1 by 4. So 5 by 4 to the power 4. So that we can write 625. 5 to the power 4 is 625 P upon 256, right? This will be the total amount after 4 years. So the principal is same in both the cases. So the difference in amount will be same as difference in interest. So what we can say, the difference, which is 625 upon 256p minus 9 by 4p will be equal to 6713. Or we can take the LCM as 256, 625 minus 64 into 9. 64 into 9 will be equal to कितना हो जाएगा 640 minus 600, so 576 हो जाएगा क्या, and this is equal to into P is 6713. So from there we are getting P is equal to 6713 into 256 upon 49. This value will be 49. 49 times 1 is 49. What's left? 18 is left. 181. 49 into 3, 147. What's left? 33. So 34. 343 is 7 times. So if you multiply P 137 into 256. So we are getting 35,072. That is absolutely correct answer. So that's the answer, guys. You need to find the total amount with the simple interest, total amount by compound interest. The difference of the total amount will be same as the difference of the interest because the principal is same. So 35,000, है ना? 35,072 is the correct answer. All right. $35,072, बहुत अच्छे युवराज. निवेदिता, शुभ, हर्ष, Subhadra, Sarthak, So and Thunder. All of these got this absolutely correct. Rakesh, I hope this is clear to you. If not, then let me know in which step you have any doubts. 72 means 72. 70, 70, 71, 71, 72, 72. लोग हिंदी वाले नंबर्स ही भूल गए नहीं. Okay guys, let's try this one. So, this question a little bit calculative, and you can use calculator to find the answer in this one. Otherwise, if you use approximation, there are chances that you might get a wrong answer. Aman invests rupees 4,000 in a bank at a certain rate of interest, compounded annually. If the ratio of the value of the investment after 3 years to the value of the investment after 5 years 25 is to 36, then the minimum number of years required for the value of the investment to exceed 20,000 is. So, what we can say, principal P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 5, P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power 3 is equal to 36 upon 25, or we can say that principal P into 1 plus, sorry, P will be cancelled out, right? P will be cancelled out. So, we are getting 1 plus R by 100 whole square is 6 by 5 whole square, or we can say 1 plus R by 100 will be equal to 6 by 5, which is nothing but 1.2. Now, question is, after how many years the amount will exceed 20,000. So, if the principal is 4,000, 4,000 into 1.2 to the power n should be greater than 20,000. So, 4,000 5 times 20,000. Now comes the interesting part. 1.2 to the power n should be greater than 5. So, what we can do? 1.2 square is equal to 1.44. 1.44 square is 2.0736. 2.0736 square will be very close to 4 point something. And now, if you multiply this 4 point something into 1.2, okay, then this will exceed 5. So, you can see 2 to 2, we are getting 8 plus 1, that is equal to 9 years. But once again, instead of doing this, because lots of calculations are there, even if you know this value, after that you will have to multiply this by this and multiply by 1.2 again. So, why not use the calculator, right? So, use the calculator and you will get that n minimum will be 9, right? So, minimum value of n will be equal to 9. Okay. Yes, you can use the calculator. There is on screen calculator in CAT exam. You can use that. Okay, Rakesh. All right, guys. Did you understand what to do here? Use the calculator. The most important part is use the calculator. Other than that, if you have any issue in these steps, then let me know. है ना? Light switch वाला question. Rakesh, if you are talking about log means logarithm, then no, you cannot use logarithm using the calculator. But if you know the values, you can use the logarithm. Okay, sure, nice. Only cat is back. He was gone for some time, but now he is back. Now, guys, for CAT 2026-27, if you want to crack CAT 2026-27 with 99 plus percentile, now is a very good time to start. Okay, you can get any kind of percentile that you want if you are ready to do all the hard work. Now, you can see there is a live webinar which will be taken by our 99 percentilers, Anmol Gupta, CAT 99.47 percentile, Anushka Garg, I am Vizag, and Aditya Gupta 99.57 percentile. So, these guys know something. These guys know something that will be very helpful to you. If you have any question, any doubts regarding CAT preparation for 2026-27, you can join this webinar on 18th August at 5 p.m. and this will be a Zoom live session. You can talk face to face, all right, and then you can ask all your queries. Apart from that, you can also go to this number if you have any queries regarding your CAT preparation, all right. सिवाय ने एक शायरी बोली है और वो मुझसे पूछ रहा है सर आपको कैसी लगी शायरी। गलत जगह बोल रहे हो भाई शायरी, है ना? सही जगह पे जाके ये शायरी बोलो ना, तब काम आएगी। क्या है कि नहीं बताओ, बाकी लोग सही बोला कि नहीं? ओके गाइस, लेट्स ट्राई द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। ओके, चलो देखते हैं इस क्वेश्चन को. लुक्स लाइक यू गाइज आर स्टक इन दिस वन, है ना. अगर क्वेश्चन में कुछ दिया नहीं है, वी हैव टू एज्यूम सिंपल इंटरेस्ट. यस सम्यक, इफ इट्स नथिंग इज मेंशन you can take simple interest. So it says Priya borrows 12,000 from a credit union with a monthly interest rate of 2%, although it does not matter in this question. At the end of each month, she repays 400 towards the principal along with the interest on the remaining amount. So she is paying interest after every month. So there is no interest left. So it does not matter if it is simple interest or compound interest, because compound interest is effective when we calculate interest on interest, but there is no interest. So it does not matter. How much will she have paid in total by the time she has fully repaid the loan? So what will be the total paid amount? Total paid amount will be equal to, so first of all 400 rupees per month, 12,000. So that 12,000 must be paid plus 2%. So for the first month, this 2% will be applicable on 12,000. Then next month the principal will be reduced by 400. So it will be 11,600. Then next month the principal will become 11,200 and so on till the principal is left 400. Now how many months these will be there? 12,000 by 400 is equal to 30. So these total numbers 30 times. So this will be equal to 12,000 plus 2 by 100 into sum of all these. The common difference is 400. Total number of terms is 30. So 30 by 2 into first term plus last term, which is 12,400. Right? If you have A plus D plus A plus 2D and so on. So this sum is equal to n by 2 plus A plus n minus 1D. Right. So this is equal to n by 2 and the common difference is minus 4. So this is n by 2 into first term plus last term, right? This is how we find. So n is 30, 30 by 2 first term plus last term. That will be our calculation. So 0, 0 cancel out, this is cancelled out. What do we get? We get 12,000 plus 124 into 3, 372.0. So question is how much will she have paid in total, right? In total. So this will be equal to 15,720. This is the total amount that she must have paid. 15,720. Okay, batao, is that clear to everyone? See, in this case it does not matter. In this case it does not matter because she is paying the interest, see, along with the interest, right, on the remaining amount. She is always paying the interest after every month. So only principal is left and that is also reducing by 400 after every month. है ना? First step, Sarthak, this one. Total principal was 12,000 which she will pay, right? Now she will pay interest per month, 2% interest per month on 12,000. Then what's left? She is paying 400 and the interest. So 400, after paying 400 interest, the principal left will be 11,600 and she is also paying the interest, 2% of interest. Now after 1 month this will be the principal, interest on that. After 1 month this will be the principal, interest on that. We have already calculated all the principal that she paid here. Total principal is 12,000, 400, 400, 400, 30 months, 12,000 total principal paid. These are the interests. For the first month this will be the principal, For the second month, this will be the principal. For the third month, this will be the principal. For the all 30 months, all of these will be principal and 2% on that. Then we can calculate this. Nivedita, in terms of arithmetic progression, sum of n terms is equal to n by 2 into first term plus last term. This is how you find sum of n terms in arithmetic progression. Okay? That's why we take n by 2. Okay, Ashish, is that clear now? I have repeated this. I hope this is clear, right? बताओ, अभी भी कोई डाउट है तो बताओ इसमें. चलो, क्लियर है. लेट्स ट्राई दिस वन नाउ. गाइज, बीच में एड्स आ जाते हैं. वी हैव नो कंट्रोल इन दैट, नो कंट्रोल. यूट्यूब अब बदल चुका है. अब ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एड्स कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. यू कैन डिले इट, यू कैन ओनली डिले इट, एंड दैट इज ऑल्सो एट मैक्स 10 minutes पर वीडियो. यू कैन नॉट टर्न ऑफ द एड्स. सो दैट्स वाई इट्स नॉट इन आवर हैंड नाउ. हाँ, प्रीमियम में नहीं आते. यूट्यूब प्रीमियम इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट सब्सक्रिप्शन दैट एनीवन कैन गेट. ओके, especially if you have 5 person to share and you frequently use YouTube, then nothing is cheaper than that. Very much convenient. Okay, YouTube Premium बहुत ही मज़ेदार चीज़ है. Like I am using these for years and बहुत ही सही चीज़ है. राकेश, एड ब्लॉकर का नाम सुने हैं सर, बट डज दैट वर्क ऑन मोबाइल एज वेल? बताओ. क्या है आंसर? देखो, वैसे करने का तो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, है ना? Okay, Alex invested his savings in 2 parts. The simple interest earned on the first part, let's say first part is X at 15% per annum for 4 years, is the same as the simple interest on the second part, let's say second part is Y, at 12% per annum for 3 years. Then the percentage of his savings invested in the first part is, so what we can say according to question, that X into 15 into 4 upon 100 will be equal to y into 12 into 3 upon 100. So 100 cancelled out. We are getting x upon y is equal to, now 4 into 3 is 12, 3 into 5. So x by y is equal to 3 by 5. So what we can take, x plus y will be equal to 8, right? In terms of units, if x is 3, y is 5, the first part is 3 units, second part is 5 units, total 8 units. So what we can say, required percentage is equal to first part 3 units, total is 8 units, 3 by 8 into 100. And if you are familiar with fraction to percentage conversion, you must remember that 1 by 8 is equal to 12.5%. So 3 by 8 will be equal to 37.5%. So the first part is 37.5% of the total. So our answer is option B. है ना? देखो बहुत लोगों के करेक्ट आंसर्स आए हैं, कुछ लोगों के गलत भी आए हैं, है ना? हर्ष, check your answer. That is not correct. Let me know if you have any doubt. Okay. Praveen Raj got this correct. Yuvraj got this correct, है ना? 37.5% Yuvraj. Mr. PK, check the solution. Let me know if you have any doubts. Subhadra, Sarthak, Thunder got this correct. Nivedita, Akhil, and Rakesh Suhani. All of these got this correct, right? Sir, can we let second part as total minus x? Yes, you can also take this, but total is not given, right? So why would you take that? In any case, you are taking two different variables. Total is not given. So you will have to assume total as something, then the second part will be total minus x, but that will complicate things. So we can do that. Okay. All right, just stage. Is that clear now? Ajay, correct answer. ठीक है, चलो. All right. So that was the end of today's session, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session based on simple interest and compound interest and got to learn so many things that you can use further, right? So let me know your feedback in the comments, and if you think it's worth sharing, then share it with your friends and like the video, subscribe the channel. Okay. So see you guys again in some live session on the same channel. Bye bye. Good night.